Hey, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Hey, so the Ruach HaKodesh reminded me just now. Sorry, I was eating chili. Something with a lot of spiciness in it. So, in the prophets and the writings, Yah talks about silver and gold refined by fire. Remember, Yehukanan, the immerser, quote unquote, John the Baptist. He, when he was talking about Messiah, he was saying that Messiah would immerse, that he would cover and immerse and cover in fire and in the Ruach. Okay, so like Scripture says a lot of times that you are like silver refined, refined by the fire. And in Revelation, it talks about how certain of the Messianic communities, man, I'm sorry, are told to go and purchase gold that is refined by the fire. Okay? Now, this is Messiah speaking to not only the those Messianic communities of that time, but each of those 7 Messianic communities is also, remember, Messiah can see, Yahuwah can see what is in the future, the past, and the present all at the same time. He is all seeing, okay? And remember, again, we're not dispensationalists, we're not futurists, we're not minimalists, so we have to understand Scripture within a Hebraic understanding. And again, like I say in all the videos, the Hebraic understanding is cyclical, okay? There was the Messianic communities of the first century right after Messiah. There were those communities that followed in a cycle, okay? We can even look today at the different denominations, and we can see those 7 communities spoken of in Revelation. They're very similar to certain denominations, okay? Now, this video is about the gold that's refined by the fire. The word, the scriptures are that which he's talking about. Yeshua, Yahusha, that slipped. After I've seen the video of the dangers of using the Shua word. Anyways, sorry, ooh, that slipped out. Messiah is speaking of going and buying gold that is refined by the fire. Okay, in a way, he's also urging you to go and purchase the scriptures that he knew would still be around, that would be untouched, untarnished. Okay, so for example, we know that the scriptures have been messed with all over the place. There's words interjected, there's words implanted, there's words taken out. I've even recently learned that even the commandments have been messed with and cut down extremely. I'll have to look further into that. But I mean, we have to accept a yes as a yes and a no as a no, and trust that certain brothers and sisters are are wise and educated enough to tell us what they're telling us. And the sister that made the video about the commandments, she definitely knows what she's talking about. Anyways, so gold refined by the fire. The churches, sorry, what's wrong with me today? Those communities, those messianic communities, Messiah knew that they would need to go and get right, back into right standing before Yahuwah's eyes, so that they would need to go back and search for the gold that is the word, the gold that is the wisdom, the knowledge that has been tested and proven and also gone through the fire. Remember, the scriptures say that the refined gold, the refined silver, it will be removed of all chaff and dross, the filth, the leaven, the trash, the garbage, the impurities. So Messiah is urging that we go and purchase the scriptures that have been preserved and unadulterated. Now, for example, the reason I don't go around anymore using the leaven of the Masoretic scribes, because they twisted the language. They messed with the language to, one, most importantly, most of the reason that they messed up the language is to obscure and hide the name of Yahuwah. Okay? Like I said in other videos, saying his name is not a bad thing. Having some heathen, pagan, unbeliever say his name is not a bad thing. Okay? They can mock Yahuwah's name all they want if they're unbelievers. They're already unbelievers. It's not going to do them any worse. Okay? They're just bringing more curses upon themselves. In the old writings, the things that made you profane his name were how you lived. If you were supposed to be part of Yasharel, the bride of Yahuwah, and you went whoring. Remember, like it says that the northern tribe of Yasharel, they whored themselves out to other false gods, to the Baalim, to the Baals. Okay, and then at some point in history, the tribe of Yehudah also whored and played the harlot. Remember, all of the prophets talk about this, how the people went through those cycles of, where Yahuwah would send wickedness to go and chastise them through a wicked army, and then they would hit the climax where Yahuwah would send salvation, like for example through Moses, and then the people would be walking with Yah, and then they would fall down again back into disobedience, and then go back into that cycle of obedience, then redemption, salvation, disobedience, and then he'd send wickedness constantly. It's like a little spiral. It's like a little slinky of constant, ups and downs as the historic timeline continues. So there and in that timeline, there's always a remnant. There's always a prophet and some of his disciples, some of his Talmudim, that are gold that's been through the fire. Like for example, Yirmiyahu. Yirmiyahu was probably a very rough man. Jeremiah, he was a very rough man, and he had that vision where the living creature, the seraphim, took those coals out of the fire and touched his mouth. Yirmiyahu probably cussed a lot. That's just conjecture, but he was probably rough. and in that vision, in that dream, or whether he was taken up, he was touched with a hot ember and, made cleansed with that, or at least shown that he needed to be cleansed of that. Okay, so careful with the stuff back there. Sorry, my wife. And again, in Revelations, it's speaking of gold refined by the fire, and other parts too. There will be those accounts that we'll have to give, and we'll have to see if they are, if they hold up to the fire. Okay, those are, like, for example, our the things that we do will be tested, like it says, by fire. Okay, so today, those of us in this remnant, we have to put away the leaven. We have to put away the dross. We ourselves, who are coming out of Rome, coming out of Babylon, coming out of all of the harlot cults, all of the whore cults, the whoring harlot denominations. We have to be those that will persevere, like he says, keeping your garments, continuing to remove the sins. Remember, in the book of Hebrews, it's talking about that if you willingly sin, there will be a fiery expectation. Okay, any unrepentant, unconfessed sins will be found out at that point in time, at that judgment. And that could be your undoing. That could be your, that could be your time for Messiah to say, "Depart from me, you worker of lawlessness, you who transgress against my word." Okay, that's the worst thing you want to happen. You don't want to go through your whole life, being this religious person, and Messiah is going to say, just like he says in the word, he says, "Many in that day will say, Master, Master, we cast out demons in your name. We did all these things. We fasted. We danced around. We went to the circus church." Look that up if you haven't looked it up yet. Look up the church and the circus. Anyways, unrepented, unconfessed sin can be your undoing in that end. Remember, Messiah says, "Those who have endured and keep their robes white." And as Yehukanan, the immersers, pointed out, that the Messiah would cleanse you with the Ruach and with fire. Now, how does the Ruach help to cleanse you? The Ruach helps to remind you through the standard, the plumb line, the standard by which you are to judge everything is the Torah, the scriptures. So the Ruach will help you and remind you of Torah, and your heart, if you're truly what the prophet Yehezkel, or oh man, you know what? I'm going to look that one up. I don't want to use the Masoretic vowels on Ezekiel. Anyways, that prophet that I just mentioned, Ezekiel, I'll say it in English. The one new man, the one new creation who is soft, has a heart soft towards the Torah, and no longer one that is disobedient, no longer one that is hard-hearted. Okay, so the Ruach helps you with that, and also the fire. Remember, as Yehukanan said, that you would be cleansed, that you would be immersed with fire. Okay, Messiah is talking about that fire that is him, that is his double-edged sword, the fiery sword that is of him. Okay, so you sin, and if you are that one new man that Ezekiel talks about, then you will recognize your sin, And like Ezekiel says, you will hate your wickedness, you will hate your sin. You'll rip your garment, you'll beat your chest, you'll be repentant, and you will be remorseful, and that fire will burn. It'll burn the sword. The sword of the word will burn you, and will cause you to cry out and to ask for forgiveness unto Abba Yahuwah. And okay, so in these end times, you who are the remnant, continue to always look inside and see what little things you haven't done. Just continue to always allow the Ruach to remind you, and don't be hard-hearted. Don't fall for the Nachash, the deceiver, to tell you, nah, it's no big deal. Okay? Because everything is a big deal unto Yah. Every little thing. Like I said a white lie the other day, but a lie's still a lie. So in that moment, I didn't really feel afraid. I was just, it's just a white lie. But as the Ruach continues to remind me of Torah, it is a big deal, because I willingly told a little white lie, but it is a lie nonetheless. And how I feel about, what's that? My wife said, this is the Ruach talking right now, because I'm going to have to pray about that later. That little unconfessed little white lie is a lie nonetheless. And there's a fiery expectation for my little white lie, because I willingly sinned in that moment. So remember, Yahuwah gives, forgives the meek, the brokenhearted, those who are contrite and repentant. For example, let's say I go through my whole entire life, and I reach, the coming of Messiah, and I have a little spot. I have a little spot on my robe. I might get whooped. I might get a whooping, and that spot might not be completely my undoing, but I might not be allowed into the new Yerushalayim. I might be cast out into the outer parts of the city, and I might not be allowed in, and that's a horrible thing. And then at the second judgment, I might just, he might just say, you know what, I just don't even want to deal with you, He expects. I'm going to say this for those of you that are new on my channel and that are still coming out. Don't fall for the bad theology that says, oh, we're not perfect. He doesn't expect us to be perfect. Yes, he does. And it's not that hard. When you truly remember, he says to work out your salvation through fear and trembling. It's not that hard to want to be perfect in his eyes, okay? It's not human perfection that he seeks. It's his standard of perfection, his idea of perfection that he's trying to get you to attain, okay? And it's not that hard. Remember, Messiah says, my yoke is easy, my yoke is easy. He says it. Okay, so it's his standard that you are supposed to reach for. And it's how you feel on the inside in your heart, whether you're hard-hearted or softened, whether you say, it's no big deal, that little tiny thing, the little white lie, or, oh man, I gotta do something about that. I gotta go and be cleansed by the Ruach or by the fire, Remember that in the Hebraic understanding, that certain times of the feasts would be days for you to go and introspect and look inside and ask for forgiveness of certain things. Now, those of you in Messiah, he already covered those past wrongdoings, but the ones that you keep doing, just, take care of them. Ask for that forgiveness again. There's no more sacrifice, like it says in Hebrews in Hebrews, what is it? Hebrews 10
something.
10:26, something like that. 10:11:26, something like that. You guys know the passage. Okay. So anyways, shalom.
Shalom.
My wife says shalom too. Think about it. Shalom.